He was fine to drive, and his little white lie wouldn't hurt anyone. Griffin's last call had come just before 8:30, the already inky sky growing darker by the minute. It was pitch black now, and the car headlights offered the only visibility, as they cut a path ahead on the winding forest road. Billy rubbed a hand over his eyes. He was really tired, having been driving for most of the day. Thoughts of dropping into bed were now taking precedence over catching up with his friends. That and feeding his growling belly. A good night's sleep, and he would be ready to invest in the weekend, put behind him his recent breakup, and have fun with the people he knew would get the smile back on his face. The road ahead curved sharply, and he stamped his foot on the brake, heart thudding and jolting himself fully awake as the car skidded, threatening to leave the road before stuttering to a halt. "Fuck me." He sucked in a breath, ordered himself to relax. It was all good. No harm done. "You've got this, Maguire. Almost there." The tension eased out of his shoulders, the bravado of alcohol urging his foot to increase speed on the accelerator again. Another bend, but this time not so sharp. Plus, he was paying attention this time, and negotiated it easily. The local radio station he had tuned into was blasting out tunes from the 80s, and the latest one from the Primitives had him turning up the volume. The track was as old as he was, but Billy was a sucker for 80s and 90s Britpop. He hadn't heard this song in years. Singing loudly and badly out of tune, not all drummers can hold a note. He was caught up in the music, and didn't even register the man walking down the center of the road as the headlights illuminated him. In fact, he didn't register anything at all until the thud hit his car, and for the second time that night he lost control. Remarkably, despite spinning and swerving the width of the road, the car skidded to a halt, facing the wrong way, but without hitting anything else. And Billy might have considered himself lucky if there wasn't a shape up ahead, lying motionless on the road, caught up in the glare of the headlights. "Fuck, fuck, fuck!" He tugged at his hair, panic threatening to overwhelm him. Maybe it's a stray sheep, though he already knew that it wasn't. He tried to tell himself he hadn't seen him, but that was a lie. There had been that split second when he had realized, had caught the look of shock and horror on the man's face. And now he was dead. No, not dead. Billy was certain he had seen twitching. This was good. He would get him into the car, drive him to the nearest hospital. No, that wouldn't work. He had been drinking. If the police found out, there would be consequences. Okay, so fine. He would get him to a hospital. He had to do that at the very least. But maybe he could leave the man anonymously outside the door. Yes, that was better. He wasn't a complete arsehole. He wasn't going to hit and run. He eased off his seatbelt with trembling fingers and pushed open the door, the cool breeze hitting him. It was so dark, and aside from his car and the man lying on the road, it was deserted. What the hell was the bloke doing out here? It had been fields and forest for miles, and Billy didn't think there were any properties nearby. The man was apparently out here all alone with no vehicle, which occurred to him was typical horror movie territory. Maybe it was some kind of ruse. Cause an accident, and then ambush the innocent motorist when he stops. He considered closing the door again, leaving the scene. But he knew he couldn't do that. If the man was found, if he was somehow traced back to Billy. No, it wasn't worth it. Besides, he was being ridiculous. This wasn't a film, and he was in the middle of nowhere. There was no getting away from the fact that Billy had knocked him down. It had been an accident, and somehow...